By the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
The Bullock administration's getting specific on filling the state's $200 million sinkhole in Montana's budget.
But MTN's Mike Dennison says Governor Bullock still isn't saying where cuts will fall until lawmakers agree to the rest of his ideas.
Dan Villa said state lawmakers and Democratic Governor Steve Bullock have agreed to a basic framework on balancing the state budget. 1/3 spending cuts, 1/3 tax increases, and 1/3 other, such as one-time budget transfers or fees. On Wednesday, he revealed the possible temporary tax increases and transfers, but said an agreement on which ones to adopt isn't quite there.
What we have proceeded to do throughout these negotiations is create menus for the respective leaders to take back to their caucuses, get input, get feedback, with the hopes of getting to some form of agreement. We're looking at, we need to come to some sort of solution in the coming days.
The state is facing a budget crisis because of less than expected tax revenue and $75 million in firefighting costs this summer. Villa said Republican lawmakers may agree to temporary tax increases to cover those fire costs. Tax hikes on the table include lodging, rental cars, liquor, tobacco, and workers' compensation fees. The budget transfers include things like money from the state employees' health fund or a broader fee on property owners whose homes are near fire zones. But Villa says Bullock won't ID the specific cuts he'd make until the other two parts are approved by lawmakers.
We are at $75 million in cuts, and the governor has committed to Republican leadership and Republican legislators that we will get to that number. How those particular cuts are allocated, we have not gotten there yet.
He also notes that the state is running out of cash by the end of this month, and if an agreement can't be reached,
we're hopeful that we can get there in the next several days because we really are running out of time to do something other than the full $227 million in reductions.
Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
The Montana Supreme Court finds the voter-approved Marcy's Law is unconstitutional. The measure passed by voters last fall would add specific rights to crime victims and their families, especially notifications about those who've committed crimes against them. But the ACLU of Montana, the Association of Counties and Criminal Defense Lawyers, questions the 5 changes to Montana's constitution with this single vote. And now, in a split opinion, the court agreed, saying the initiative made too many changes all at once. The ruling raises procedural questions about what's next for counties that were already struggling to enact that law. The man accused in the deadly Halloween truck attack in New York is being held without bail. At least 8 people were killed in the incident, 2 of them Americans. Saifullah Saipov was charged with federal terrorism crimes. According to the court filings, the 29-year-old chose Halloween as the day to mow down pedestrians and bicyclists, believing there would be more civilians on the street at that time. Authorities say they have evidence establishing his support for ISIS, including a note recovered outside the rental vehicle he used.
Coming up, Derek introduces us to our athletes of the week who win a 3rd straight championship. And open enrollment begins today. What experts want you to know before picking the insurance that's right for you.
And a new way to help teenagers struggling with drug and alcohol addictions is taking the country by storm. We'll take a look coming up on KPAX.